What is up, all you GBA type people? This is Tom. I'm here bringing you guys my week 1 match against Lars, the Borussia Donphan. Now, if you missed the team builder, check out my video from yesterday. The team consists of a Scarfland OT, Spec Swellow, a Mega Houndoom, very standard set, Spadef Diancie, mixed, mostly Spadef Rotom Wash, and a Choice Banded Scizor. We see that Lars brings Kyurem Black, Cobalion, Crocodile, Yanmega, Tapu Fini, and Shaman. Looking at his team, pretty much my first thoughts looking at it, Shaman and Fini probably should be a very, a bulky set. Kyurem Black, some sort of offensive, perhaps Life Orb, perhaps Berry like I expected. Cobalion should be defensive because it needs to take hits from both Swellow and from Scizor. And then Crook, I kind of expected Mega Absol to be there just because I felt like it had a better matchup versus the team and could provide a lot of different coverage to hit the vast majority of my team. But I do see why Crook was brought. And then finally, Yanmega. It is one of his Z users. We got to find out if it actually is. Looking at the team, he could bring it and actually make it work, assuming that Diancie gets chipped down accordingly. Same with Scizor to an extent, assuming he doesn't have HP Fire. But that's the team. Look, we're going to hop right into it. And basically, my mindset going into this match was I was going to lead off with Landorus, because if he decided to lead off with Cobalion, tries to set up rocks, or if he leads off with something of that, even Kyurem, I could U-turn out. But he does end up leading Kyurem here. I lead off with Landorus. This nickname is not going to stay because I don't actually like it. We see that I get off the Intimidate first, which kind of shows that I'm Scarfed. I don't want to U-turn in case he is also Scarfed, which I was a little bit messed up on the mechanics of the speed on the first turn, mostly because it's been messed up before, and last season kind of threw me off a little bit, so I don't know if it changed, but it was confirmed post-match that it is the ability goes first is the mon that is, of course, faster, especially on the first turn. Anyway, he goes Rise Beam, then he goes for Iron Head like I expected. I'm going to get up rocks here. Remember how in my team builder I said that I didn't need Diamond Storm? I mean, granted, it wouldn't have done all that much, so I'm not offensively invested, but it would have a really nice chunk. What you see is not really going to play a big factor into this match, mostly because I will be able to chip this down accordingly with Rotom right here. But he is going to make a nice play. He is going to go for Earth Power because it covered my Rotom switch, as well as knocked out Diancie based on the level that it was at. And the Berry was already gone. He had no reason to go for Iron Head again because if Rotom came in, it would have been a resisted hit. Earth Power hits both of them super effectively. But I am going to go right here for a Pain Split, and it's going to pretty much put Kyurem down to a very nice level of HP, which ensures that he can't really live hits from certain things, mostly because it puts me up relatively healthy, puts him down in half. If he tries to go for another Earth Power, it's going to put me down super low, but it's also going to put him down super low. And I think Kyurem Black is one of the mons on his team that he especially needs to hold on to. He's going to switch out. He's going to go right here into his Shaman. I'm going to Pain Split again in case he tried to attack. I don't think he would, but I figured it was my best play, considering that if I Pain Split, I can get off some damage on whatever I'm seeing in front of me, whether it was Fini, whether it was Shaman, whether it was whatever. But right here, I am just going to hard switch out into my Swellow, because based on my HP investment, I know for a fact that I can live a Seed Flare as well as a Giga Drain. Rocks are not up, so I don't need to worry about the residual damage. He's going to go for A Drain. Does a good amount of damage, but I also understand that in the case that he does go into Cobalion, I believe that a Specs Boom Burst is doing between 37 to 44%. And right here, if he is not Spadef, it does a pretty hefty chunk. I don't really agree with him going for Synthesis here, and I believe post-game we talked about it. He said he misclicked. He wanted to go for HP Ice, but he clicked Synthesis instead, which does allow me to pick up a kill here. But what I want to explain is that this right here was actually kind of smart. Letting me knock out Shaman, while it does potentially put him in a rough spot in the case that Landorus was a Rock Polish, sorry. It does also allow him to get a free switch and a Crocodile, which right here is the turning point in the match. Right here, my expectation is I took this down pretty much the timer, but in my head I'm thinking to myself, alright, he brings a Crocodile. Obviously it's not faster. Obviously it does not run Sucker Punch because it can't. And obviously he is showing Scarf. He can go for one of three things. He can go for Stone Edge, which is pseudo risky, but there's things on my team that aren't really going to appreciate a Stone Edge. What are you doing? Disappear. He can go for knockoff, which will knock me out, or he can go for pursuit, and all of which I expected the first two more than the last one. But we're going to see that Lars here makes a very, very good play, and he's going to pursuit me. And this is going to knock out. This is going to knock out Swallow, which is kind of bad. And at the time, I thought to myself, okay, I can kind of recover from this because I know that for a fact that I can bring in Rotom here. I can even bring in Diancie. I thread this thing out. Whereas, kind of, I think maybe Scizor would have been the better play here, or even Landorus to attempt to knock him out. Go for U-turn. I can get some good pivot, and I can get into something that could also threaten out Feeney here. Going to Diancie was super conservative, and the pursuit kind of frazzled me in hindsight. It put the matchup very much so in his favor because now he really doesn't. Nothing really threatens out a lot of his mons because Swallow is in fact gone, and he can just revenge whatever he wants with the Crocodile. He doesn't go for Defog here, and like I said, my team builder, I'm just going to go for Explosion because there's no reason for me to get continue getting rocks up if he is, of course, faster and he's getting leftovers recovery. So I'm just going to go for Explosion. I'm going to try and see if I can knock this thing out, if not get a lot of damage off, which I do. I knock it down pretty much into the about 25% range. Diancie knocks itself out. That means rocks are gone from both sides, which more or less benefits him as compared to me. But right here, I am going to go into Houndoom. And my thought process here was, it's a 50-50 in my mind at least, was he should go into Cobalion to resist the Sludge Bomb, but in hindsight, that was dumb. I'm going to Fire Blast, I'm going to miss because fuck me, I can't hit moves. He's going to go for Scald. It's, over-prediction in my mind, but I thought I was pretty much behind at this point, just based on the score and the fact that I lost one of my, premier breakers based on a very good play that he made. I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb. It's going to knock out Feeney. I could have mitigated damage on Houndoom, but the bottom line was that whether or not I knocked out Feeney there or not, he was going into Crocodile, and it being Scarfed pretty much meant that he could just go for like Earthquake. He can go for we're going to see here that he does in fact have Aqua Tail, and that means that Landorus was not a switch, and that obviously I wouldn't have gone to Landorus hard there anyway, but he's going to go for Aqua Tail there. I thought about switching, but on the same token, he had Cobalion. I would have had to hit a Fire Blast. He had the Cure in Black still relatively healthy, and rocks weren't up, so he can just bring that in on a resisted hit from the Fire Blast. So pretty much right here, it's getting actually really difficult to establish what I'm gonna do to kind of win this game. He does have Cure in Black. He does have his Revenger. As long as he keeps that healthy in the back, nothing really is going to ensure that I knock out anything. We see here that Hydra does actually 0, which pretty much establishes that he is Assault Vest, which we saw in his team builder. Now, with that in mind, that pretty much ensured that if Swallow was still alive, if Houndoom was still alive, I would not really be able to knock out, based on his investment, based on the fact he's Assault Vest. Fire Blast was resisted. Dark Pulse, while I would have had a paste, he would have lived Dark Pulse. And, he could have knocked me out with an Earth Power, assuming I didn't get the flinch. And I'm sure he has, other... Well, we saw most of his coverage moves anyway, so... We saw everything. We saw HP Fire. I knew he had HP Fire for this. I could have on Superpower there, but I pretty much was, at this point, kind of throwing it in because I didn't really think I had the opportunity to... I had to pretty much get rid of Kyurem and see if he would actually bring in Cobalion. The idea there was, if I went for Superpower, I could have. He probably would have lived, just based on the fact that Cobalion was healthy in the back and his investment. But I had to attack him was in front of me just because I was super behind, and just Lars was making some really good plays. I show here that I'm Scarfed, and that ensures that he's going to be allowed to get in Yanmega for free. And yeah, just this is not looking good for me. Second year in a row that I go up against Lars week 1, and he does get the upper hand up on me based on the matchup. But I'm gonna go here into Scizor. I noticed something on this turn is that Yanmega is shockingly bulky because Adamant, Choice Banded, Scizor, Technician boosted Bullet Punch. I thought, it would do upwards of like 70%. No, it does like 58 to 65 or something like that. So I am going to hit him with the Bullet Punch to try and get up some good damage. And he's just going to knock me out here with an Air Slash. I am going to go into Landorus after this. I know for a fact that based on my investment, based on the range that it's at, he can't knock me out unless he has HP Ice. And even so, I didn't see Life Orb Life Orb damage, so that means he's he doesn't have the attack boost. He is going to get his thumbnail here. Pretty much he's going to go for Z Air Slash, Supersonic Sky Strike, and this is really cool. I didn't quite expect this. Like, I thought to myself that he probably had some sort of Z move. Z Air Slash was super cool on his end. I'm actually kind of upset that he ends up dropping this, which you'll see on Tuesday. But he does pick up a good chunk of damage. Like I said, not going to knock me out, but I am going to get into Landorus here, and I'm going to try and hit a move, and we're going to see that nope, because let's just throw some salt in the wound. So I can't hit a Fire Blast. That one didn't matter. Stone Edge would have only necessitated this down to like perhaps a 1-0. Lars will disagree, whatever, some bullshit that he wants to complain about. To basically, from my perspective, if I had knocked that out there with Stone Edge, I could have preserved Landorus there, and I could have knocked something out with an Earthquake. He wouldn't have been able. I mean, he would have to knock out Rotom, and if I was -1 with the Aqua Tail, perhaps I could have gotten off some damage, I could have gotten big damage, lived an Aqua Tail. Anyway, the point is, this could have turned a potential, this is going to end up in a 2-0 loss against me, into maybe a 1-0, perhaps even a 2-0 still, but, I kind of wish this match went a little bit differently. I could have also played a little bit of 50-50 game in the late game here, so, bottom line, I tried. I got another L from Lars. I believe I'm like 0-3 against him right now, but here's the thing, and this is something I want to, express. All of last season, I went to every match very casually. I built the team. I discussed with who I built with. I talked about, this is what I'm going to build. This is what my mindset is. This is what I planned myself. This is what you guys suggest. And I just went into the match cold. That's exactly what I did here. We're going to change that, because I'm sick of letting things surprise me. And I know a lot of people, they mock, and they do prep battles and stuff, which before this match hadn't really worked for me. Now, moving forward, for every single match, I'm getting at least 1 to 2, upwards of 3 mocks if the battle or the matchup necessitates it. Because, being surprised by AV Curum and Z Yanmega, if someone can show me that in a pre-match and I can kind of get an idea and stop being locked up in my own head and stop thinking, oh, this is what I think is going to happen, but it's not in actuality what happens, and I'm not surprised by what I consider, shocking in a match, will definitely help me moving forward. So, yes, I take an L here. Yes, I lost 2-0. Granted, most of my division also lost. Spoilers, Necro also catches an L. Mono also lost to Joey, and I believe John is the only one to win, and he wins very low against Cybertron. Now, that means that this division is still close. Now, every match, my week 2 match is up against Necro Stevo, and the week after that is against John. 2 people that I'm very, very confident I could beat. Yes, John has beaten my ass consistently for the past 2 seasons. However, shit drafts. His team is a lot like mine, but it's a lot more passive. He's going to be doing a lot of coming in and taking hits. This team does have bulk, but it's a John team, and I can beat it, and I will beat it. So I'm going to take this L, and I'm going to learn a lot of things. First of all, we're mocking. Second of all, I'm going to not get surprised by anything. And third of all, this is just a speed bump. This is not, I'm not turning this into some self-pity party that I'm going to, let a loss that against someone who, frankly, if you ask me, Lars is one of those players that I have always had a hard time getting a solid grasp on. There's other people in this league that I could read like a book, that I can watch their play style, I can watch how they play, how they make their switches, how they prep, and I can get a very, very good handle on their performance, their play, their preparation. Lars is not one of those people. I give a lot of props to Lars, even though that we do have our differences in our thought processes and our discussions, but he did pull a very nice play. He built a very nice team, grabbed a very good W, and in his division, yeah, he needs it. I have a little bit more leeway based on who I'm playing and, of course, my conference as well. But like I said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to move forward positively. This is not a loss to set off this season in a negative way. 2-0 loss is nothing to be, sad at. It's not a 4-0. It's not a 5-0. It's certainly not a 6-0. So moving forward, I'm going to kick some ass. You guys know that. I know that. And anyone who I prep with and anyone who knows me as a competitor also knows that. So, Sharpedos, -2, 0-1, who cares? Moving forward from here, we're going to get some W's. I promise you that. So, week 2 against Steve-O, we will be catching a W. Sorry, Steve-O, you got to lose. I got to win because, baby, we're making playoffs again. And I'm not losing in the first round. So, next week, I will see you guys for my team builder. I'm not making any transactions for week 2. The team's going to stay the same until I figure it needs something to change or something, opens up in free agency. But until then, I will see you guys soon. Leave your comments. Yes, I lost. I can pick apart what I did wrong. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's going to be a lot of, commonalities between what I saw that I did wrong, what you guys saw that I did wrong. I'm going to get, moved down the power rankings. Who cares? Moving forward. Going to kick some ass. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, it's still crunch time. I'll see you guys soon.